We'll tell you about the main news at 9 a.m. this Friday on TSN. We're looking forward to your comments on the broadcast and would appreciate your subscription. The Nikopol district endured about 15 attacks throughout the day. It was hit by artillery and drones. A store and a private house were damaged. Sinelnikiv's China was also targeted. The Mezhova community became the enemy's target. It was attacked by drones and a house and a garage caught fire. People managed to stay safe. Another 205 of ours are home. Ukrainian soldiers and civilians have returned from Russian captivity. Among our freed defenders are the defenders of Mariupol and National Guardsmen who were captured while guarding the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Most of them had been held in Russian torture chambers since 2022. The emotions of the relatives who were finally able to embrace their loved ones are captured in Nelly Kowalska's report.
Usually journalists often find out about the emotional exchange by the loud and enthusiastic cheers from the large crowd of waiting relatives.
Hooray! And yesterday the oldest child turned 9.
He turned 9 and this is his present today.
He's coming back today. Oh God, thank God! And yours?
Girls, he has been held in captivity for a full 4 hours already. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the crucial message arrives.
Lyudmila Ivanivna has been released from captivity.
How old was the little one when her dad...
3 years old.
The last thing he heard was Rita telling him in a voice message, when he was still at the station and there was still a connection. She recorded it for him and said, "Daddy, I love you."
So touching.
Welcome back, everyone, to our channel.
To you, glory to Ukraine.
Glory to the heroes!
Welcome back.
Guys, welcome home.
We were patiently waiting here for you for quite some time, actually. We really hoped you would arrive soon.
Congratulations!
Oh.
Mom?
Dear? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. There was no discernible moisture whatsoever present in this entire bus. Do it anyway. Congratulations. Many, many congratulations.
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 Congratulations. Tanya, Tanya!
There are many who continue to wait. Right now behind me you can see people holding photographs. They are searching for their missing loved ones and waiting for their own to return from captivity. But the 69th exchange is not over yet, and we really hope that ours will keep coming back in the near future. Nelly Kowalska, Natalia Nahorna, Mariana Bukhan, Iho Siri, and Andriy Macron. TSN 1+1.
Due to shelling, power outages have occurred in several regions of Ukraine at once. The most difficult situation is in Sumy and Chernihiv regions, according to Ukrenergo. The situation is further complicated by the fact that electricity consumption has increased due to the cold weather. Konotop and the Shostka district of Sumy region are not only partially without power, but also without water. The Russians launched more than 24 Shaheds at the city and also damaged the railway infrastructure. Trains stopped, with some standing in the fields for several hours. More than 300 passengers had to be evacuated by bus. Later, train service was restored after a strike on a substation in Slavutich, Kiev region. The day before, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was left without power for 3 hours. The shelter that isolates the 4th power unit and prevents the release of radioactive materials was left without power. In Chernihiv, which was struck by the Russians, energy workers are implementing scheduled hourly power outages. The water utility is partially powered by autonomous sources. Hospitals, municipal facilities, and social institutions are switching to generators. Residents once again have to remember what it's like to live without electricity. All the details from TSN correspondent Natalia Nahorna.
This is the sound we now hear all over Chernihiv, the buzzing of generators. It's also difficult to get water in Chernihiv today, so these kinds of water selling points are popular among people.
People are taking large bottles, taking as much as they can,
Everyone is filling up with water. This isn't business, it's just a nightmare. Not business at all. People are just in such a panic. There's no time, no electricity. What do you expect?
There's no electricity. When there's no electricity, the water also disappears. Should we call this Armageddon? Well, I guess we should call the war that's happening Armageddon, and Russia, the terrorist, first and foremost, is the one creating this Armageddon for us. The situation is actually really critical, both in Chernihiv and in the region, because right now we have scheduled hourly power outages, and these schedules also include critical infrastructure, hospitals, and other facilities.
Well, the residents of Chernihiv who have a generator at work or the opportunity to warm up and recharge are the lucky ones. But here, as you can see, you have the chance to charge your own phones, so yes. Do you have electricity at home? No, I don't. Unfortunately, Ukraine already has a lot of experience with blackouts, so now these so-called points of invincibility are being set up around Chernihiv. They promise there will be at least 17 of them. Now we'll go into one of them and try to see if the locals are actually using it. Internet, electricity, heat, water. Let's check what's available. Good afternoon, may I come in?
There's nothing at all. No water, no electricity. No power. No Wi-Fi?
So I take it the really main need is the primary Wi-Fi connection?
Yes. We had online classes, so we needed to connect. But there's no electricity.
We made some tea. Here's the setup. You can get some water here. Here, you can easily make a delicious regular porridge, and over here you can prepare a more traditional Ukrainian one.
Right now, there are about 180 across the region. If we're talking about the region, because the whole region is experiencing outages now. But if the communities and districts see the need, and the city council sees it, we'll set up more if necessary.
Businesses in Chernihiv responded to the situation very quickly, so you can have coffee, get something to eat, and charge your phone at local establishments. But of course, all of this is running on generators. Natalia Nahorna, Ihor Siri, Chernihiv, TSN 1+1.
To fight the enemy more effectively, the State Weapons Portal has revealed the specifications of the long Neptune missile. It can travel 1,000 kilometers, which is almost 3 times farther than the anti-ship version. The warhead weight has also increased by almost 100 kilograms. The missile has improved guidance, so it can attack various targets. And this will be a surprise for the enemy. Meanwhile, private manufacturers have presented the Bandura ground drone. It weighs 135 kilograms, and it is capable of carrying up to 200 kilograms of cargo. The drone can be used both for deliveries and for evacuations from the battlefield, or it can be used to lay mines in certain areas. They don't have enough of their own, so they take from their neighbors. The occupiers have started importing gasoline from Belarus more actively, according to the Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service. This happened after numerous Ukrainian deep strikes on oil refining facilities. Despite statements from Russian officials, there really was a fuel shortage in Ukraine, so the occupiers began actively buying gasoline and diesel from Belarus. These are produced by local refineries using Russian oil. In total, from July to September, Russia purchased almost 100,000 tons of petroleum products. But the oil sector is not the only one. Russia and Belarus also cooperate in the military sphere. One of the Belarusian defense enterprises signed a contract with the Tula cartridge plant. Ukrainian intelligence says that the parties only openly talk about products for civilian use. But in reality, both countries are trying to disguise their cooperation in the defense sector this way. The Hungarian Prime Minister made another series of statements about the war in Ukraine while in Copenhagen. In particular, he unexpectedly stated that Europe is stronger than Russia because it has a larger population and a stronger economy. Therefore, Viktor Orban believes that Moscow should not be considered the greatest threat to the EU. The Hungarian Prime Minister also once again spoke out against Ukraine joining the European Union. He claims that in that case the EU would have to pay money to Ukraine. And Budapest does not like that. Orban's position was criticized by the Polish Prime Minister. Donald Tusk emphasized, "The real question is, in this war, whose side are you on?" High-level trolling. The Prime Minister of Albania made Emmanuel Macron apologize. The video episode was shown by the Azerbaijani outlet One News. At the European Political Community Summit, the French leader was talking with the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. And he heard an unexpected remark from the Albanian Prime Minister, "You have to apologize." With a serious expression, the Albanian Prime Minister reproached Macron, saying, and I quote, that he did not congratulate Albania and Azerbaijan on establishing peace. Not so long ago, Donald Trump claimed several times that he had ended the war. And he made peace between Azerbaijan and Albania, confusing these countries with Armenia. Macron was surprised at first, but then realized it was a joke. And he did apologize, and all three officials started laughing.
You have to apologize. Right here in front of us. Because you didn't congratulate us on establishing peace between Azerbaijan and Albania, which President Trump talked about. Forgive me.
You're watching TSN. To stay up to date with the main news, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell, and I'll continue with the news. A knife attack on TCC representatives in Kryvyi Rih. 2 were injured, one of them is in serious condition. TCC employees stopped a man to check his documents. He pulled out a knife, struck them, and fled. The attacker's identity has been established. He faces up to 8 years in prison. An explosion in a residential building in Lviv. The cause was a gas leak in one of the apartments on the first floor of the 3-story building. An elderly woman who lived there was injured and taken to the hospital. The walls of the building were damaged. Windows were blown out in neighboring apartments, and residents were temporarily relocated. Russian intelligence was preparing sabotage operations with disguised explosives in a number of European countries. According to reports, the targets could have been Poland, Lithuania, and Germany. The Polish newspaper Gazeta Wyborcza reports that these details became known after an agent was detained, who was preparing terrorist attacks using drones and explosives that the Russians had hidden in cans branded as corn. Similar cans were reportedly found during an investigation in Lithuania, and the suspect was transporting components for drones and SIM cards between Lithuania, Poland, and Germany. Currently, the Polish prosecutor's office is conducting an investigation. The agent faces a life sentence. True winter has already set in the highlands of the Carpathians. On the summit of Chernihiv, it's been snowstorming for several days now. Wind gusts reach 10 to 12 meters per second. Up to 15 centimeters of snow has fallen, and in some places, drifts are as high as half a meter. Rescuers advise tourists to refrain from hiking to Pipivan in the highlands. The State Emergency Service emphasized that such weather conditions significantly complicate movement in the mountains and can pose a threat to life and health. At this moment, that was the latest update. Don't miss our next TSN broadcasts to stay informed about the events.